Hello and welcome along. I've been playing Kerbal Space Program for the past few months since they brought in a new career mode. It's quite fun to obviously now have intentions and purposes to go visit other planets, and everything isn't open to you when you start up. This is sandbox mode, so everything is open, and for that purpose these are some early ships. I'm quite far through the career mode at the moment, and if anybody is a basic player like me and wants some help with some ships to get them through the early stages of career mode, then I am here to do that for you, and also give you a tutorial on how to fly them. So a few things we got is we got a ferry, which is like a tugboat. So you connect this up to bigger ships that you don't want to waste the fuel of. This thing will chug it along. You got fuel stations. You can pop this around Kerbin, pop it around the moons. You can orbit it around the sun. It is a good way to keep your ships up in the air. We got the fuel tanker. That's going to provide fuel for the fuel stations. All these stock parts are things that come with the game. Then we got the mono fuel tanker, so this will fill up the mono propellant. We've got a ship with a pod. We got a ship without a pod. Both of these are only good for really landing on the moons. They'll land on planets, but they won't get back off again. So that's something to take into consideration. Plus, you can't repackage parachutes till you've skilled up your pilots, which now takes quite a while. So we got a nice big moon outpost, or moon outpost as I chose to call it, because that was the contract I had to complete, was to build an outpost for the moon. So that was my moon outpost. We got a rover. Though the rover, I wouldn't necessarily use a rover. Rovers are fun. They're good to drive around, but you're looking at a maximum of 20 meters a second. And on the moon with very low gravity, they're next to impossible to drive. So that is why I ended up designing, if I can find it again, the Mooncraft. So I think this thing can be redesigned quite a bit, so it fits in with the fuck off PJ. So it fits in with the only joking mate. Fits in with the early structural bits that you get. Like you could use, let's see, these like those. There you go, modular girder segments. Could probably get away with using those instead of these metal struts, but I'm a little further through the tech tree, so this is what I'm up to now. Plus I just got completely pissed off with rovers at this point, so that's why I've designed this. There's very minimal science on this, like the moon outpost is the main thing for generating science, flown at a low altitude in orbit around the moon, and then just collect it, wash them out. You can use a science junior to wash them out. So right, let's get some of these ships in the air. So initialize T on everything, put the throttle right up. Everything should go up full throttle into a low orbit, and at that point you want to be docking using the fuel stations. These aren't necessarily designed to go straight to moon, or especially interplanetary. I'm not that far yet. There we go, the music kicks in. I'm sure it's 70. Yeah, there we go, it is 70. So orbital height is 70. Orbital speed is about 2,000 meters a second. So don't get off the throttle before 2,000 meters a second. Keep that bad boy going. Okay, I am losing speed. What? Oh, okay. Yes, that is why I'm losing speed. So this last stage undocks. You might want to transfer the fuel. I don't. No, it's going to hold his fuel because it's got no way of. PJ, come on. So now, I don't know if I'm going to make orbit. Of course, I'll blame PJ. It looks like I probably should have went a bit higher with this one. Maybe might need to add a couple more rockets on it. Bit of RCS. RCS is always good. So if you're ever low on orbit, just hit R and H. To give yourself an extra bit of throttle. Just really need to push it out now. I can't see me making this one. Wouldn't that be a shame? First launcher. Dismal failure. And I think it's gonna be. Cannot see myself being able to sustain altitude. Giving it the final Hail Mary. This is just everything. There you go. You will go into space. So if you're like me and you nearly fuck it up, give it the Hail Mary. And up she goes. Okay, so we're in space. Job done. We got 81, 99. Perfect. Okay, so this is the Ferry Mark II. There has also been a Ferry 1, a Ferry probably Mark 1, Mark II. Now there's a Ferry 2, a Ferry Mark 1, a Ferry Mark II. So basically, these things you can get rid of these. They're fucking shit. Forget about those. Is these reaction wheels that I put on. You really need the reaction wheels or you're going to be wasting RCS. So reaction wheels are cool. Everything I've put up here should go into space without RCS. Hopefully. You can keep the fins on, you know. You don't have to take the fins off. Either way. Again, T, throttle up. Power. So normally try to go as vertical as you can till that 8 to 10,000 meter mark before you start edging it over. It's always good to get the Delta V altitude. Delta V sounds cool. Everyone who plays fucking Kerbal Space Program says Delta. It's Delta V. There is no such thing as altitude in Kerbal Space Program. It's fucking Delta V. Enough said. Okay, we're in orbit. Beautiful. Okay, now the fuel station and the multi-dock. This has some beautiful lights for docking. This has no antenna, because in the career mode you want to connect up different ships with different antennas so you can reuse the parts to complete missions. Is the basic way to lay it on out there. We just launch this bad boy off and graze over that. Not the greatest sound, but we we got there nonetheless. Now this one, you might want to transfer all the fuel back over. The problem is it might cause instability if you click on there and disable the crossfeed. So if all the weight is up on the top, it could be a problem. I haven't tested that and don't know. So I do it this way, and then just refuel the tanks when I'm up. So next up is the Moonlander 3 with 2 docking ports. Now you can change this docking port here for one of the standard ones, because as far as I know that is cosmetically good only. It weighs more. It's not aerodynamic because it's got a closed tip. You might as well just have a standard docking port, and probably don't need 8 of these. That is a bit OP, and quite ridiculously I've put on too many RCS thrusters as well. But that's not a bad idea, because you can shut them down and start them up. So if your docking is a bit off and these line up with, say, 4 RCS ports on another, you can switch them off and alternate, see? So your docking, your RCS isn't mixed up with the ship that you're docked with. Beautiful. Right, let's fire them up, get them in space. As you can see, this is quite an early design. This was added to and added to, so this is dead basic going into space, but it's good, it makes it, and I will show you. Okay, so as always, T and Z and space and Z, go to space, everybody! Oh, she doesn't want to lift off, but she motherfucking will. Come on, we're going to space. When Africa does finally launch its space program, this is what. No, that's racist. Stop it now. Just stop it there. Okay, we're in space. Loads of fuel. Still got plenty in this stage. It's draining from the top, that's why. So again, gonna probably want to disable the crossfeed in that one. That probably should have been done before, because there's one little fuel tank up here in amongst the RCS. I was RCS mad, as you can see, trying to keep stability to my ships, but this ship kind of works now, and as long as the SAS is enabled, everything is fine. So realistically you need a pilot to fly this one. But yeah, if you've done what I've done there, just transfer the fuel over, and job is a good one. Next ship. Okay, so rather than launch the next two ships, I'm just gonna graze over them, because nothing could be more simpler than what these two ships are. This is a tanker for fuel, and you just basically send this up the same way that we've been sending all the others up. There is the notable thing on this one is there is a docking port in amongst there, and the intention of that is that once you get up into orbit, you undock this, and then you can push it from the back, see? And then it's so easy to dock into a fuel station, because you got your ferry on the back there, pushing away, and then up on the top, you just dock it into the station. There's plenty of RCS, as normal, because this is one of my ships, so it is fucking coated in RCS, but this has no monopropellant on it. So you will be using the monopropellant from the ship that you were pushing it from. So there is no point trying to dock this ship into a fuel station without the old tugboat to tow it there. So next one, of course, is the monopropellant, which is pretty much exactly the same, other than one small difference. Once this is disconnected, this is classed as debris. There is no command unit on the actual docking unit itself, so the payload has no command unit, so it doesn't need electricity, even though it will generate its own. So that's kind of just an extra for the station that you connect it up to. And there's this cool little docking port. It doesn't really need this, but I put it on there because I'd opened it up and it looked good. So we'll move on to the pièce or resistance, or whatever the fuck the French pronounce that as. Let's see, the moon outpost. Here we go. I don't think I've left any ships out, and I will be ending it on this video. Now look at that fantastic fucking mess. Okay, now this will go to the moon. This will straight up go to the moon. That is what these ports are here. This has so much fucking fuel that I had to put docking ports on the tank, so when I chuck this off as debris and land this on the moon, I can still go along and scavenge the fuel out of it. But this fucking beast flies. There's these little docking ports on here. They're not really connected on very well. They're more so placed on than popped in, like the normal parts tend to do. So loading those up with anything heavier than this, I should really put two of these on, because this one's got a seat, so the little Kerbals, little gerbil Kerbals, can sit on this and they can go scooting about collecting their science. But on this one, this is just, I've called these little light lifters, because they'll dock up and they'll push stuff around all day long quite happily in space, but on planets they are completely useless. Okay, let's launch it. Here we go then, standard procedure of T and Z and space. Let's go to space, everybody. Come on and clap your hands. Alright, stop singing. Well, there we go. There is the moon base in space. That one will disconnect by the tap of the spacebar. Everything in here should still be in here. I also, like a noob, because I am a noob, put these pipes on the wrong way. This fuel tank in the middle effectively does fuck all. You need to transfer the fuel over by yourself or swap over those fuel lines. If I was any less of a lazier person, and I would do that and amend it in the save file, but as that's already done, I can't be fucked. So how could I forget as well? We got the final ship is the rover. So how can we have any ships without a rover? It's fucking ridiculous. Everybody loves a rover. So onto the rover. Okay, so this is the rover 2. You do not want to know what the rover 1 looked like. Self-writing struts probably won't be open. A lot of this rover won't be open till later on in career mode, so yeah, my advice is don't really bother with rovers. They're good probably for planets, but I've not explored too many planets yet. Just kind of moons are my specialties. So yeah, this is the rover. Obviously it's not going to get anywhere on its own. It's got a docking port on the top there, so once it goes up into space you have to rendezvous it with another ship, dock it up, and then generally I take the Moonlander 3 because it has a docking port on the bottom. I just get that one up there. So I'll basically reverse this ship on to dock up with the rover, drop it down to you know, almost touching the surface, and already have this right clicked to decouple the node as it gets close to the surface. Drop it too high and you'll pop the tires. You don't really want to land on top of it neither. It's probably worth doing a quick save before you attempt it. It's one of those tedious kind of tasks. Not many things in Kerbal Space Program are not a tedious task. Would you like to see the rover make it into space? Why not? Let's launch the rover into space. Okay, so here we go. With the rover. Might want to put the brakes on. Just stops the wheels from spinning. Also, once you actually get it to a moon, it's ideal to click these and lock the steering on the back wheels. So then at least it's not all over the place. Excellent, so that's everything in space there. Plenty of fuel there for whatever comes and picks it up also. So let's just say we weren't going to come and pick that up, then it's all we would do was we could decouple the node there and also fire off that just by decoupling or pressing space. So there's all of my my ships there. I'll maybe get a shot of these all docked up and together looking all pretty. But from me, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.